Hi guys. So the current pure fiction definitely caused a struggle for me to beat, and I know it's way harder than the first one because even my friend that has like a pretty whaled account, like he's brought in a bunch of extra etalons on each 5-star limited, and said that he wouldn't have beaten this current pure fiction without his really strong black swan. Like he's prepped a lot of materials and he maxed it out on the first day, and he still says that without her, he probably would not have beaten it. Now, over a week has passed since this has come out. Well, actually, way more than a week, but like, yeah, probably like more like 2 weeks or more. I think most people have beaten it, and I seem to like read it over due to closer inspection of the current effects or the buffs. Wait, let me open that up. Yeah, I read this over, and also the three buffs. Oh wait, let me click this again. These three. And now for the three buffs on the first time I tried it, I thought this middle one. Let me open up the other screen actually. Over here, where we select this. Yeah, these three. This is easier to read. So I thought this middle one only applies if you have wind shear, but actually reading it over, it says that it applies as long as someone attacks it. So basically, you just want as many AoE characters as possible to apply this free wind shear to all enemies. The wind shear actually does impressive damage, usually like hitting around 15 to 30k damage. I think it's based on the character's attack, like the current one the one that hit the AoE. Now obviously if you have a DOT main team, you want the first buff because it basically causes mass destruction if you just apply one single DOT. So like straight up you do one DOT to one person, everyone else takes that DPS too. So it's like insanely broken for Black Swan because she already has AoE. So it's like AoE on top of AoE on top of AoE. It's like splash explosions. But yeah. So obviously you're gonna want to pick the middle one if you don't have DOT. And I know most people, it's because most people don't have DOT teams. I think it's just not as popular, especially because of how OP Jing Liu is with Destruction's teams and the Mono Quantum team. But yeah, most people just don't have DOT because we don't have Kafka, and because of that, we don't roll for Black Swan either. Because us free to plays, we're out here struggling. I mean, they have been giving us more rolls, but it's still a struggle. So we still we gotta roll save for Acheron stuff. But yeah, after testing out a bunch of random teams, like over here. Well, actually, this isn't the team I beat it with. I have I saved this web page, with the Hoyle Labs thing that shows the team that you beat it with. But yeah, after randomly testing a bunch of teams, I realized that it doesn't really matter about the synergy because I don't really have much synergy between my teams either. I just straight up stacked all the correct weaknesses, and that basically led me to believe that pure fiction is straight up elemental matching game mode. Like all you need is to have as many DPS that matches the correct weakness. But yeah, as you can see, my top team has Blade and Jin Yuan with Yuan Mei to buff their DPS. Yuan Mei is impressive. I love my Yuan Mei. She saves me. Without her, these two guys suck a lot. But yeah, and then on my second team, I got Clara and Topaz and Asta. I wanted to test her out. She actually helped me a lot because speed, and I actually forgot to put a light cone on her, so I actually beat it without a light cone on my Asta. So I'm pretty sure I could beat it easier if I just slapped on any type of support light cone. But yeah, um, the second team actually required more of a. Wait, let me unblock it. It required more ice and physical. I feel like fire is like whenever you see fire, you could always bring ice instead because they're both there all the time. I mean, anytime I see an enemy that has either of these, they always have the other one too. But yeah, even with zero dot, I'm able to beat it with the correct weaknesses. So yeah, even without using this main effect up here, the increased DOT by 50%, which is like huge, like 50% more damage, basically. But not only that, it also reduces the enemy's damage to you by 35%. So that means you don't really need to sustain as long as you keep applying the DOT, which is easy because of all these debuffs, you basically guarantee to have DOT. But yeah, after that it also says their action is advanced forward by 35%, which at first I thought it meant your team, but actually it meant the enemy. Now it actually gives us more energy, or if you have Clara or Blade, it opens up more output advantages. So it's actually good that they get advanced forward. Well, to be honest, it's better if it's advancing our own team, but you know it is what it is. It's better than nothing. So yeah, because of that, I'm actually able to beat this current pure fiction because during the last part where I had to fight against Mr. Argenti here, I was actually I only had like 15k points, but I managed to beat it because of the fact that my Clara, you know, I hit them, they hit me back, and then my Clara hits them again, and then they get advanced forward, so they hit me again, and then my Clara hits them again, and they also get advanced forward. So it's like a loop. Like obviously it's not a permanent loop because it's only 35%, but it's good enough because there's so many enemies, and whenever I activate the Clara ulti, which is like basically there's only like 1 out of 3 turn downtime, especially because of my Ting Yun, so it's like really high uptime. So I just keep bouncing back and forth. But yeah, because of that, I was able to beat this pure fiction. Like I straight up got 15k points from 0 turns the instant I reached Argenti because I was like having a lot of trouble before I even reached Argenti in the first place. But because of that, yeah. So remember to take advantage of these things. So read it carefully. If you have Clara, you know that will save you a bunch. Like I'm pretty sure you'll have a Clara if you don't have a DOT team. And if you really are unlucky, I mean, I guess you gotta pull out the old Himiko and Herta strategy, you know. Get that AoE procking out this wind shear stuff. I mean, I think that should work out because there are a lot of enemies to fight, especially fighting against Argenti. I feel like Argenti is the main savior of the current pure fiction. Like all of the stupid shields that come out, they help you a lot because they also damage Argenti himself whenever you break them. So AoE is huge. But yeah, it's still definitely much harder than the first pure fiction in my opinion. Probably because, you know, we can't make use of the main effect. But yeah, to anyone that's still struggling, yeah, just make sure to you know, abuse this one, the middle one, rumor. Or I don't know why this one picked that one, but you always want to pick the middle one. If you don't have any single DOT character, you definitely want this one, the rumor one, because that basically gives you DOT. And I'm guessing it's because of that I'm able to proc. I mean, I'm able to do 30k wind shear is because of also this effect, 50% more. But yeah, other than that, I'd say yeah. After being able to beat this, I feel much more, you know, more relaxed because I know this is like we already reached the climax in difficulty for pure fiction. The next one is probably gonna be follow up. So for anyone that you know, are wondering what to get ready for, it is gonna be follow up team. So you know, if you got your Clara, I mean your Clara is also follow up. I keep forgetting, and also Himiko and your Herdas. You know, all you guys that has that OP Himiko, you're good to go. Cause you know, follow up. Every time you do a follow up, it's probably gonna do a humongous AOE that bursts everything down. And like that's probably the case, you know. Like they're gonna have a buff that says if you do a follow up, it drops a huge nuke on everyone, I'm guessing. Or just straight up increase, or even make your follow ups AoE. But yeah, I'm good to go because I got Topaz, you know, and everyone has a doctor ratio too. Oh, well, to be fair, I don't think people want to use doctor ratio unless they do have like a really OP AoE follow up thing, which they probably will. So you know, maybe get that doctor ratio ready. And Herda and Himiko, if you got those, well, obviously you got Herda, but like, if you have Himiko, maybe you don't need Herda. That's all I gotta say. If you have any more questions or tips, maybe leave it in the comments. I'll check it out. And you can ask me anything if you want to. Yeah.